Marketing automation is considered as the middle of the funnel activity. It does not begin at the top of the funnel. Top of the funnel is basically getting traffic to your website. Bringing a lot of traffic to your website is when users set a first date with you. That is when you engage with them, and that is when they will get to know what you are all about, or if you're lucky, they will try and they're willing to give those few minutes or seconds of their time to go ahead and land on your landing page. This is your first date, ladies and gentlemen. Do not ask them to get married to you. So what you need to do in this case is to try and impress them by understanding their problems, by being supportive, by educating them, etc., etc., etc. So that is where marketing automation activities actually begin, which means marketing automation is not a top of the funnel activity. It is a middle of the funnel activity. All right. Now, usually automation KPIs fall under 3 groups. One of them is customer metrics. Then you have engagement metrics. Then you have retention metrics or revenue metrics. And then you have value metrics, right? So basically, there are a bunch of metrics. This is not an exhaustive list, by the way. There are a few more metrics that will come under your purview when you're trying and understanding how automation works in your case or in your business's case. Just understand it broadly falls under these 3 to 4 categories, namely customer metrics, engagement metrics, retention metrics, if they may apply, and revenue metrics. So basically, to understand, they kind of give you a context as to what these could mean. Customer metrics is how many people are coming, what is their behaviors, so how many people are recurring visitors, how many people are new users, and engagement metrics is when you send out those email marketing campaigns, how many people are clicking on the links, how many people are opening your emails in the first place, how many people are not responding, and what are the other ways they engage with your emails. Then you have revenue metrics in terms of what is the lifetime value of a customer, how much is he spending in his lifetime, and kind of how you should go ahead and capitalize on these things, or what can you do here to increase the lifetime value of a customer with you. Do you cross-sell? Do you upsell? Etc., etc., etc. So let's go ahead and look at each of these things one after the other. But before that, we need to understand not everybody who comes to your site will go ahead and purchase from you. Not everybody that you go on a date with is dying to get married to you, or vice versa. So similarly, you need a qualification process as to how do you qualify a lead. So to qualify a lead, this is basically how the system works. You have a lead, then you need to identify if it is a marketing qualified lead, then you need to see if it's a sales qualified lead, then that gives rise to an opportunity, and when the opportunity is won, he becomes a paid customer. So there's a thin difference between marketing qualified lead and sales qualified lead. There is an entire session that we would do after this on these topics. But for now, just understand that marketing qualified lead is something where they're ready to be marketed, which means he's showing certain interest on your product or service, but he's not yet there. He's not yet ready to give in those cart details and buy your product. Maybe he added it to the cart. Maybe he's not sure. He has a lot of questions. But nevertheless, he has expressed certain behaviors or attributes where you kind of understand that this guy may be a good conversion for you. So that is a marketing qualified lead. Sales qualified lead is red hot iron or warm leads who are ready to buy your product, who are almost ready so that you can send the sales agent or a sales call and then close these guys. That's a sales qualified lead. All right. Now, customer metrics is the first kind of category that we brought into picture. This metric will help you identify how well your marketing campaigns are performing in terms of acquiring customers, retaining customers, as I said, prospecting new customers. So this segment revolves around customers and the metrics that you need to understand when you are executing marketing automation. All right. Okay, now there's one good thing. If there's one good thing about this video, that there's not enough text, there is not too much text that you need to struggle and make notes and do this and that. Just remember these, or to just take a screenshot of these things when you're going through that. This will help you. Trust me, this will help you when you want to refer back to them. So refer them again. Just take a screenshot and keep it with you. So marketing qualified leads, you spend your marketing dollars, you get customers to your website, you identify them as marketing qualified leads, right? Customer acquisition cost for each marketing quality lead, which means if there is a lead who you think would be a potential conversion for you, how much did you spend on this customer? How many advertising dollars did you spend on these guys? For example, you spent about $1,000 per month and then you got about 500 customers who are marketing qualified, which means these are not customers yet. They have not converted for you yet, but they have a good chance of conversion. So to get each of these marketing qualified lead, how much did you spend? So $1,000 was being spent on getting 500 of these things, of these marketing qualified leads, which means you spent about $2, which is your customer acquisition cost for each marketing qualified lead. This is a metric to understand, because at some point in time, you will have to differentiate between this. You'll have to analyze the spends between spending on a marketing qualified lead and how many of those marketing qualified leads actually became sales qualified leads who ended up being your customer. So this metric is very important to understand your profitability. That's exactly what the screenshot speaks to you about. Then you have customer acquisition costs. How do you calculate that? When you speak about customer acquisition costs, you also need to understand what is the what is the lifetime value of a customer. For example, you have a user who has come to you on your website and bought a pair of shoes. Now, 3 days after that, he bought a pair of socks. 4 days after that, he bought a shoe polish maybe. 5 days after that, maybe he bought another pair of socks. Now, let's say you spent $2 to get that customer for the first time. So the $2 that you spent not just led to the purchase of the shoes in the first place. He came back to your website again and started buying products again and again and again. So during his entire lifetime, this customer would have spent X number of dollars. So that is his lifetime value, which is an aggregate of all the purchases that he has ever made. So during his lifetime, this is exactly how much is he going to spend. Or if you want to take another example, if you look at your Netflix subscriptions, if Netflix has advertised and I clicked on the ad and I went ahead and signed up for a Netflix account, I saw that if I go ahead for, let's say, 6-month membership or a 6-month plan, Netflix doesn't have those plans, but just saying that if I go ahead and buy a 6-month plan, I'm saving $50. So I go ahead and buy a 6-month plan. So for a customer like that, my lifetime value is the 6-month premium that I paid for Netflix. And how much did Netflix spend on getting me? The same $2 as an example, right? So it is very important for you to understand your acquisition costs that you're spending for getting your customer, and you need to compare it with the lifetime value that you're generating or you're able to generate from them. So basically, all I want you to remember is the terms customer acquisition cost and customer lifetime value from this slide. All right. Customer retention rate. Okay, Netflix got me. I decided to go ahead with a monthly subscription. I went on and renewed my subscription for about 7 months, and 8th month I kind of dropped, right? So what is the retention rate? Netflix was able to retain me for 6 months. So you need to look at the total number of customers. Out of 1,000 customers, as an example, 30 people went on and renewed their subscription with Netflix. So that is a 30% renew. That is a 30% retention rate for Netflix. So that is something that you need to understand for your business to understand. To keep a tab of what is your retention rate of your customer base. As I said, don't already start imagining things practically for your business and don't get overwhelmed. Just understand these parameters, because in the due course of time, we would be going ahead and setting up these systems in place live for you to showcase, for you to understand them. So as of now, just understand the terms. All right. Customer lifetime value, we have looked at that. So as a goal that you need to remember that your goal is to make sure that you increase the lifetime value of a customer, which means you acquire the customer once and he becomes a recurring visitor. So you have to nurture him in such a way that he becomes your recurring customer, so that over a period of time, his lifetime value with you increases for the same amount of time you spent on that ad click, right? Money that you spent on the ad click.